Hi and welcome back. I am Karen Marguerite. I'm a business leadership coach based in Melbourne, Australia, and I am exploring men's mental health and well-being by exploring the book The Mask of Masculinity by Lewis Howes. And each episode I read a little section and have some commentary, and I look forward to asking you questions and learning more about the 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 section I read, but also your experiences. At the moment, we are up to chapter 2, The Athlete Mask, and I'll keep reading from where we left off from the last episode. Lewis writes, Steve and I talked about the movies we used to watch and the action heroes we idolized. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Van Damme. Sure, they had great bodies. Sure, they could do amazing amounts of damage with their bare hands, but is that really why we admired them? Digging deeper into all of those things, Steve went on, even when you take those characters, what happened to them in most of these movies? They were serving others, and ultimately their needs came second. That is really at the core of happiness, I think. And that's at the core of all the guys in my life who I look up to. What Steve is talking about is selflessness and sacrifice. These are virtues you learn as an athlete on a team. You learn to put your needs and goals second to the needs and goals of the team. When the team is gone and the playing days are over, however, a weird thing happens to many guys stuck behind the athlete mask. The value of selflessness and sacrifice starts to disappear, and all that's left is competitiveness and the need to win. This rears its ugly head for guys most often in their romantic relationships, which, ironically enough, are themselves a certain level of team in which these virtues are just as important. And yet, before you know it, the partner stops feeling like a teammate and starts looking more like an opponent. Everything becomes a competition. Getting your way, getting the other person to admit they were wrong, getting the other person to refusing to apologize unless they apologize first, winning arguments. These are the hallmarks of a partner hiding behind the athlete mask. These traits are among the hardest thing for women to deal with, because my experience with women in my life has been that they are not wired so strongly for winning at all costs. In his legendary book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie has a chapter titled You Can't Win an Argument. Most women read that title and nod their heads. Guys struggling behind the athlete mask read it and say to themselves, oh really? You want to bet? This is how Dale explained it. You can't win an argument. You can't, because if you lose it, you lose it. And if you win it, you lose it. Why? Well, suppose you triumph over the other men and shoot his argument full of holes and prove that he is non compos mentis. Then what? You will feel fine. But what about him? You have made him feel inferior. You have hurt his pride. He will resent your triumph. Dale is talking to a male audience in a business context at a time when business was a male-dominated world, but his point is absolutely relevant to romantic relationships today. The men who understand this point are more likely to have meaningful, healthy, long-term relationships. Tell me about some of your relationships in where you felt, or at least experience, that need to win at all costs. Now, it might not be in a loving partner relationship. It could be with your siblings. It could be with your parents. Could even be with your children. Wearing the athlete mask doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an athlete. It could be any competitive frame of mind in which you take the stance that you need to win, you need to beat this person, you have to be better than them. Have you had an experience like this? Tell me about it. Looking forward to hearing it.